Most men think they need a cabinet full of supplements in order to raise testosterone. In reality, that approach usually does the opposite. It lowers testosterone. I've seen guys spend hundreds a month on different powders and pills, and in the meantime, their testosterone levels are still like 400 or 300 in some cases. The truth is, if you understand physiology properly, you only need a few targeted inputs instead of having a bunch of different things that don't work with your endocrinology or your liver or your overall body. So over the last few years, I've reviewed thousands of men's testosterone blood work from guys who are trying to increase their testosterone naturally. One pattern keeps emerging. Most herbs don't really increase testosterone long term. Some of them will spike testosterone and then cause problems because it starts aromatizing too much into estradiol, or prolactin starts to rise too fast. Some just downright crash your testosterone and cause issues. But there are a few herbs that are very powerful, and they allow testosterone to rise immediately, and it will stay high if you use these herbs properly, and I'm going to get into how to do that exactly in this video. So these aren't tricks or cheats or whatever. I mean, you could think of them as shortcuts potentially, but they are genuine. There's genuine physiological support here for the HPTA. There's liver clearance, cortisol control, reducing aromatization into estrogen. So there's very, very legitimate pathways for these herbs helping you. They're not just, it's not like taking drugs. It's stuff that improves the internal natural processing. So if you're a man that wants elite testosterone levels for the rest of your life without relying on injections, TRT, you'll want this video. I'm going to get into the 3 herbs that I recommend, I give clients, or I recommend to clients, and how to use them properly. This is the real bottom line, because all of them have potential drawbacks and you need to avoid or work around these drawbacks. So the first one is Cistanche. It's not widely available, but most of you guys watching this are British. British Sups are a great brand in general, so I would highly recommend them. But it's kind of similar to Tongkat Ali, but it's less stimulating. Like, one of the biggest problems with Tongkat Ali is guys can't sleep properly, or it makes them feel weird, even if they take it in the morning, in which case stay away from it. It's not worth messing your sleep up. But with Cistanche, it's huge for your libido, free testosterone, potentially reducing cortisol, like a bunch of different benefits, fairly anabolic, and leads to real improvements in your blood work, basically. And similarly to the second herb I'm going to get to in a minute, it also seems to be good for men over 40, potentially a little bit better for older guys, especially if you've been having morning wood issues or libido issues. So the second one, which is also good for men over 40, is Shilajit. So I've spoken about Shilajit before. In the studies, it's been mostly done on men over 40. You do need to make sure it's a good quality brand. Himalayan Healing is definitely a good one. Again, British Sups is another good one. Shilajit, it needs to be purified properly, though. You want to avoid issues, contamination, things like that. But what does it actually do? It's very, very mineral dense, seems to be very good for total and free testosterone and sperm quality and inflammation levels. All the different things that men over 40 are going to be interested in, to be honest. Number 3, Tongkat Ali. Now, loads of guys do benefit from it, but some guys, even if they take it first thing in the morning, it's still too stimulating, which will end up, if it ruins your sleep, the supposed cortisol benefits are going to fall apart very quickly. Like, sleep is the biggest cortisol control hack there is. Fundamental. But if you take it in the morning and you still sleep well, Tongkat Ali is very, very good. 400 milligrams first thing. British Sups, Nootropics Depot. There's a few different brands. Now with Tongkat Ali, similarly to if you're taking something like Oron, you do want to cycle it, partly just to make sure your liver's not being overburdened. Again, blood work will tell you if it is, though. And you'd want to look at your ALT, your AST, beribulin, and a couple of other numbers. They're the big ones. And if those start to climb, then you know your liver is being burdened, at least to some degree. And you would want to cycle off that. So let's say 8 weeks on, 4 weeks off. And that's going to be fine. Even for boron, you could do that. They say 4 weeks on, 2 weeks off. With boron, you also need to be careful with estradiol rising. At least it happened in a few studies. So you do need to be careful. You need to cycle some of these things. Ashwagandha is another one where, see, it can be really beneficial for some guys. I don't really want to focus on it on a video like this because too many people have problems with it where it makes them feel weird. If it makes you feel weird, stop taking it, obviously. For the people where it's really, really beneficial, and there's quite a lot of guys who follow me on X who say it's really beneficial for their cortisol levels and then their sleep. That's great. Like, take ashwagandha, 500 milligrams in the evening. It can stack nicely. Rhodiola is a good potential replacement for ashwagandha if ashwagandha is problematic. It can definitely reduce your cortisol levels. Don't take it right before bed because it can temporarily stimulate your mind a little bit. So take it in the afternoon. But rhodiola with L-theanine is a good little stack for bringing down cortisol levels and sometimes helping you to sleep as well, L-theanine especially. Now, who should not take these supplements? This bit's important because you don't want to cause problems when you don't already have problems. So I would say avoid ashwagandha if you're someone who already feels quite flat. You struggle with motivation rather than anxiety. So you already feel like lower energy instead of high all the time. You need to be brought up instead of down. Avoid ashwagandha. It will, if your cortisol levels are already very low, avoid ashwagandha. It can push you too low, and then that causes real problems. So I would avoid it in that case. Who should avoid Tongkat Ali? Well, I would say if you are already kind of hyperactive, if you're someone who's got like ADHD, if you have a very overactive nervous system and you struggle to sleep, you take ages to fall asleep, or you're waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning already. If you already have these problems, Tongkat Ali is going to make it worse. Avoid Tongkat Ali. If you're one of these more chilled out guys who has no problem falling asleep, you're naturally a little bit lazier, let's say, Tongkat Ali could be really, really useful for you. Who should avoid Shilajit? Anyone where you can't be sure that the brand is good or that the purification is there. So if you have questions in your mind about the quality of the supplement, just stay away from it. Then with Cistanche, stay away from it if you're expecting some sort of quick, immediate spike. It's more of a subtle, longer term version of Tongkat Ali, I suppose. So don't expect like some sort of stimulant effect. It's going to take a little bit longer than that. Have some patience. So between these three herbs, Cistanche, Tongkat Ali, and Shilajit, you've got a really good combination here that's going to give you the best chance of hitting 800, 1200 testosterone naturally in a relatively short space of time, assuming you're doing the other fundamentals properly. If you found this video useful, I've spoken quite a lot about blood work and making sure things like cortisol is being measured. Your liver health is all good because you're going to have problems with these supplements if you don't. Check out this video where I talk about the blood tests I've analyzed and some of the big numbers you want to keep an eye out for if you want to hit high testosterone levels. I'll see you in that video.